Okay, section 2, we're looking at logic. So we're going to be writing a lot of sentences or statements, and those statements are either going to be true or false. We will have to determine truth value of those statements. Most of the time our statements are going to be represented by these three letters, P, Q, or R. And then we'll also deal with negation. And negation of a statement is going to have the complete opposite meaning as well as the opposite truth value. So if I start to say that statement P is true, then not P is going to be false. It's just going to completely change the truth value of it. We will be dealing with compound statements, so we'll have two or more statements joined by the word and or. And we're going to start with and first. Okay? You will see this symbol quite a bit. This means and then the V, that is going to stand for or. That little squiggle up there, that means not in your book. Just a few things for us to understand before we get into the actual example. Okay, if we go to example 1, you can see all of our statements are right up here. And then we're taking those statements and we're going to write this. We're going to write the statement Q and not R. That's how we say that. Q and not R. And once we write that statement, then we will determine its truth value based on our triangle right over here. Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to locate Q, like the statement Q. It's right here. I'm going to start with that. So I'm going to say the figure has two congruent sides, and that's what this symbol means, and not R. So if my statement R says the figure has three acute angles, we're going to change that to not R, so we're going to say and the figure does not have three acute angles. That's a compound statement that I would like us to write. Then the second portion is to actually come up with the truth value to this thing. And in a compound statement using the word and, both parts have to be true. In other words, this statement has to be true along with this one has to be true in order for the compound statement to be true. If either one of Q or not R is false, then the whole statement will be false. Okay, so we're going to look at this statement that we have written. The figure has two congruent sides. I'm going to come over to my triangle, and I can see that that's a true statement. This side right here, that is congruent to this side. So I do have two congruent sides. That portion is going to be true. I'll write a little T here to keep that straight in our heads. And then the second portion, the figure does not have three acute angles. That is also a true statement. One of my angles is a right angle. So not all three of them are going to be acute. Also true. Since I have true and true, my whole compound statement is going to be true. This is the actual one that I want to see. You may use these little T's in here to help keep it straight, but I'm looking for the truth value of the entire compound statement along with your statement. Okay, we'll do one more here. Let's go with, let's do 1B down here at the bottom. Not P and not R. If I was to use that in symbols, that would look like this. Not P and not R. We're going to write that compound statement as well. Okay, so we're going to start with not P. So P says the figure is a triangle. So not P is going to say the figure is not a triangle. Come down here. The figure is not a triangle, and not R. Not R, we said the figure has 3 acute angles, so we changed it just like what we did in the first one. We're going to say the figure does not have 3 acute angles. And the figure does not have 3 acute angles. Just like before, we're going to come up with its truth value. So we're going to start with the first portion, not P. The figure is not a triangle. Well, based on our picture up there, that is definitely a triangle, so we're going to say that that is false. This portion right here, that's false. And we already said from up above, the figure does not have 3 acute angles. We said that that was true. This time I have false and true. And remember, in the word and, both of those simple statements need to be true in order for the whole statement to be true. So this time my statement is going to be false. And that's conjunction. Okay? That is conjunction.